And we have this chut that Rabbi Weinberg is going to teach us the Parshah according to the Baal Shem Tov. So it's a new topic and lots to learn and Hashem to connect. Yishar Koach. I'm going to say peace.
That's the topic for the year, Mr. Hashem. But I told you, the union of Tefillah, even though we're not going to spend most of the shir on it, I think a few minutes still has to be devoted to that. I just give you a little example for what reason. Last night when I was davening Ma'ariv, so we started Shmona Esrei, and I was up to, say, Tachonein, maybe the third bracha, something like that, third bracha, and already somebody was already up to Yalav Yavo. They called it out aloud, so that everyone should remember to say Yalav Yavo. So when they said Yalav Yavo for themselves, they wanted to say it loud so everybody else would remember also. They were up to Yalav Yavo already, but I was only up to the third bracha. How did they get to Yalav Yavo in that time? I don't know how it's possible. I don't know how it's possible. Unless you don't say the word, just read with your eye. You read the pages, and you turn and turn and turn, and then maybe it's possible. So anyway, we learn in Pirkei Avos, Shimon al Tzadik, but Mishura Miknesses HaGedola, Anshilich HaGedola, Avshlochet Bor Ba'olam Omeid, Torah V'avodah Gmos V'Sadol. Avodah today is Tefillah. The world stands on Tefillah. I was asked by the administration to change the topic after a while already, so we changed it from Tefillah to Parshas HaShavua. But we have to spend just a few minutes on Tefillah because that's what holds up the world. Torah, avoiding Gvos Chasadim. Parshas HaShavua doesn't hold up the world. But Avodah is one of the pillars that holds up the world. So I wanted to spend just a couple of minutes on that, and then we'll get to the Parsha with the Baal Shem Tov. I want to read to you one small piece from the Baal Shem Tov on Tefillah. Every week I'll pick one small piece, and this is something at the end of the piece it says, the Baal Shem Tov is very adamant about this, and he constantly reminded all the Talmidim, all the people around him about this one inyan. So I'll just read to you this. Yechavein b'tefillah. You have to realize, when you're davening, we are using a tool that the world was created with it. When Hashem created the world, it didn't say, boom, let there be a world. It went in stages. Before Hashem created the actual world, He created tools, and with those tools, He went further and created the world. What was one of those tools? One of those tools was the Aleph Beis. The Aleph Beis was created before the world, and with the Aleph Beis, now you have words that can be used to create. And you know why we say Eishes Chayil Friday night? Will you help me understand why we say it?
Every statement starts with one letter, and all the letters are...
Yeah, okay, that's true, but you have to say more than that. I didn't know the answer myself. Why is it so important to say Eishes Chayil? When I was younger, I used to say Eishes Chayil after we made a motzi, we had the first portion, they had the fish, you know the fish, whatever it is, and I would say Eishes Chayil for the Baal Tabayit, Eishes Chayil as a praise to her. And then when I found out this, I started to say Eishes Chayil before Kiddush, and then I sang it again afterwards. What's the reason we say Eishes Chayil before Kiddush? Before then all of doing, we say Eishes Chayil first. What's the reason? What's the reason? Because Shabbos is a time of bracha. Shabbos is a time of bracha. Shabbos brings all the bracha to the whole week. And you want to get the brachas on Shabbos, the brachas have to come through channels. Brachas don't come stop, they come through channels. The channel that the bracha comes down to us is through the Aleph Beis. You say Eishes Chayil Friday night before Kiddush, you're opening up all the channels, and then when you say the Kiddush and the Motzi and the Bechas HaMazon and the Zmiris, then the channels are already flowing with the bracha, and then it becomes more practical. That's why we say Echeskal before Kiddush, to bring channels down with all the flow of the bracha with it. So it's very, very important. So the Baal Shem Tov said to his Talmidim, you should know, when you're davening, you have to have kavanah that you are using these tools. You have to be ma'oreh the osyos shenivru b'hem shamayim v'aretz. Remember, you are using a tool because it's very, very precious. Hashem used the same tool to create the world. The word we have in Bereshis and the old psukim in Bereshis are using the aleph beis. You are using those letters. Those are the tools. I'll tell you even something even deeper. Maybe it'll come up later in the Parshat too. I'm going to tell it to you now anyway. This is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. In Parshas Re'eh, it starts off, Remember that from last week? So it says, a bracha im tishmu. If you listen to what I said, you get bracha. If you not tishmu, they get klal. That's the second and third pasuk. What the first pasuk said? It seems to be something other than what he says afterwards. You don't have to have that introductory pasuk to say, Im tishmu, you get bracha. Im lo tishmu, you get klal. That could be said without the introduction. What is the purpose of that introduction? What's the purpose of that first bracha? Says our Baal Shem Tov, an amazing thing. There's the bracha and the klala are said in one pasuk, and they are coming together in one unit. How can you have bracha and klala in one unit together? I can understand afterwards. If you listen, im tishmu, you get bracha. If you lo tishmu, you get klala. But to have bracha and klala together, how can you have bracha and klala together? Listen to what he says. This is extremely, extremely important. And it doesn't apply only to doing averos and mitzvahs. He says, in everything in the world, the truth of the matter is, it applies to everything, there are always two levels. Everything has two levels. One level is the external level, the chitzonius. And the other level is the pnimius, what's on the inside, which you don't see. You just have to know it's there. Maybe you can have a sense of it. Maybe. But you have to know everything in the world has chitzonius and pnimius. It has externals and it has internal. The question is now, what are you going to concentrate on? What is going to be your focus? The chitzonius or the pnimius? What is more important? The chitzonius or the pnimius? You say the pnimius. Anybody else have any other opinions? We have one opinion.
The chitzoniut, you can see, you can understand. The pnimiut,
yes,
much more difficult.
Okay, fine. But the question was, which is more important? Which is more important? So he says the pnimius is more important. I agree.
I think the nexus point of connection is the most important, where the two meet.
Well, you have to choose one or the other. But besides when the two meet, we have to choose one or the other. Which would you choose? If you have to give your attention to one, which would you choose? The chitzonius and the pnimius. So I agree with the Baal Shem Tov agrees with you also. The pnimius. Now listen to this. It doesn't only apply. Let me give you just a simple example. Let's say we're coming up now with the Yom Tov, and the person have a lulav and esrog. Lulav and esrog. The chitzonius of lulav and esrog is the branch, and you have the hadassim and the aravos, and that's the chitzonius. So you can shake all day long, this way, that way, and that way, but if you don't know what you're doing, you don't understand what the pnimius is, what is it all worth? What is it all worth? You're going through It's like a person who's, a shaitan. He does things, but he doesn't understand what he's doing. He does it. He says everybody else does it, so he does it too.
It's the marriage.
Huh?
It's the marriage. Man and God.
You said something too deep for me. I don't understand what you said. 1 minute. So the point is, you have to understand why you're shaking in those directions. What are you accomplishing when you're shaking in those directions? Then you understand. Then it has meaning. Then it gives you something. You take away something from it. Not just I'm doing this action because everybody else does it. That's chesed. I want to know what's going on. What am I doing it for? What's the reason for all this? What am I accomplishing it? What do I end up with? That's the pneumius. Now listen to this. This is so important. It's absolutely amazing. What happens when you're talking about divrei Torah and tefillah? Get this. Remember this for the rest of your life, Rabbi say. From today on, remember this for the rest of your life. It's nogeh every single day. Every single day. You have Torah every single day, and you have tefillah every single day. In Torah and tefillah, says the Baal Shem Tov, there's chitzonius and pneumius too. What could it be? I'm learning Torah. What's chitzonius and pneumius? It's touching this Torah. It's all kodesh. What are you talking about? Tefillah, I'm davening, I'm saying the words. What kind of chitzonius and pneumius? This is what the Shem Tov says. The Shem Tov says, if you learn Torah for any reason other than the real reason, and if you daven for any reason other than the real reason, it's all chitzonius. You're davening for what? All the brachas, the answer the Gadol made for us. I need parnasa, I need health, I need want to get rid of all the rishoyim, I have all these things. And that's the Knesset Gadol set up for us. All of these brachas, we have 19 brachas now to say we need all these things. That's chitzonius, you might say. That's chitzonius. You hear that? That's chitzonius. What is the pneumius? What's the pneumius? I'm learning Torah. I'm learning Baal Shem Tov. I'm learning the Mishnah. I'm learning the Chumash. That's chitzonius. This is the Baal Shem Tov talking. This is not me. This is chitzonius. What is the pneumius? The pneumius is the kedusha inside the Isis in Torah. The kedusha inside the Isis of the tefillah. When you say the word Baruch, you're thinking about bracha, or you're thinking about the kedusha? The Kodesh Baruch Hu is inside the letters, and I want to attach myself to the pneumius, to the kedusha inside the letters of the Torah or the tefillah that I'm saying. You hear that, Rabbi say? That is the pneumius, even in Vormship kedusha. When you say Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam, just not the meaning of the words King of the universe and you are blessed and so on and so forth. That's all chitzonius. That's all the meaning. What's going on is the pneumius. What gives those letters their ability to be letters? There's kedusha. There's the atzmius of a Kodesh Baruch Hu inside. That's what you want to attach yourself to. That's the pneumius. Remember this, Rabbi said, you have to daven every single day, 3 times a day, 3 tefillahs a day. What are you going to attach yourself to? To the meaning of the words? It's good. You should. We need those things. Antiknesset set it up for us. We need those things. We need parnasa. We have to have bracha. We have to have slach lana. We have all these things. But it's not enough. After you do the chitzonius, you have to go to the pneumius also. I want to attach myself to the kedusha inside the letters. I want to be dovuk to a Kodesh Baruch Hu. This is what davening and learning is all about. That's the pneumius. Now think about Chodesh Elul. What's Chodesh Elul? We have a very famous Russian tables that we say, Elul, Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed. What is it? Ani l'doidi v'doidi. You want to have a successful Yom Neroim, successful Sukkos? You have to have the first part, you have to attach yourself to Hashem. Ani l'doidi. If you attach yourself to the pneumius, then it's going to be the other way also. Doidi li. Extremely, extremely important. This is what the Baal Shem Tov, he told his Talmidim, he says, remember, you're using the letters that Kodesh Baruch Hu created the world with. Attach yourself to the pneumius of the letters. Don't be only suffice yourself with the externals, with the chitzonius, and what the words mean. There's something deeper inside the letters. Attach yourself to that. Baal Shem Tov gave this over and over and over again, many times. The last words of that piece is, "Vehizir b'zeh harbeh." He's talking to, who is he talking to? He's not talking to children. He's talking to his chassidim. His chassidim, these are people on a madrega. And he's telling them, you can easily be distracted by the chitzonius and forget about the pneumius. Don't forget about it. Attach yourself to the pneumius all the time. Okay.
And this is the difference with the Tachman and the Yalem.
That's why the person said the Alamiyavo, because he's not interested. What pneumius say? I didn't even know the chitzonius if he said the case. Okay. We're going to go now to the Parshah. We have in this week's Parsha, Baal Shem Tov we're not going to be able to cover the entire Parsha. He has certain psukim that he picks on, and he wants to give his pshatim. All right, so I want to ask you, please, if you bring Siddur for everybody, because he's going to refer to us. You want to bring everybody get a Siddur, please? We'll need a Siddur. Take everybody a Siddur.
What the Siddur are here?
Right here, in the back of you, right there, in the shop. Everyone take a Siddur.
Not a chumash. You don't need a chumash. We're doing the part.
We're doing the Parsha, but the Parsha, he refers to a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, which we need. I don't know why he brings us in at the beginning of the Parsha, before we get to actually the piece that we need. He talks about here, the Parsha starts off, Shoftim v'Shotrim. So, Shoftim v'Shotrim, or, no, not that pasuk. So, we have a mitzvah in the Torah not to veer away from the things which Chazal tell us. Lo sosim l'dor she'yigidu l'cha yomin is small. When Chazal tell us something, we have to follow what they say. And on that, the Baal Shem Tov comments, we don't realize who our great Rabbanim are. He talks about the Shach and the Taz and the Parshah. He says about the Parshah, very interesting when he says about the Parshah, he says, Ma'od, he spoke about Ma'od, Begodel to Kaso, people understood who the Parshah was. People would lick the dirt on his kever if they knew who the Parshah was. Now, I was listening to a Rav who was talking, I think it was about the Parshah, and he said a very interesting thing. He said the Parshah had long hair. Now, today, people who walk around with long hair, we look at them as kind of strange, and we call them hippies, things like that, all kinds of long hair. So, how is it possible that it has to fit into the Parshah? Because the Parshah had very long hair, and you know why he had long hair?
The Nazir.
Huh?
There's a Nazir.
No, not quite. Because at night, when he was getting sleepy, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to learn as much as he needs to learn. He would take his hair, tie it up to some kind of a beam on the ceiling, so if his head fell, his hair wouldn't let it fall. That's why he tied his hair to a beam, to keep him up at night so he wouldn't fall asleep. You hear? That's what he used his long hair for. Because he had no other reason that he had to have long hair, just to keep his head from falling onto the table and fall asleep. He had his head. This is the Parshah. Now you understand when people who are such mice and nefesh for Torah, you can understand why it says by Sosim Adosh Kadu. I just don't understand. If you take a look at the Parshah, you look at all these Perushim, you take a look at the Shulchan Aruch, you take a look at Rashi, look at the Rambam. How is it possible for a human being to write so much? I don't understand how it's possible. Rashi on all of Shas Bavli and most of the Rishalmi and all of Tanakh, Rashi on the Parish on everything. How do you have time to write it? When would you have time? When do you have time? The Marshah, you take a look at the words of the Marshah on all of Shas, when do they have time to write? It's something that's unbelievable. It's miraculous. It's not Al Pitel. It's not Al Pitel. It can't be Al Pitel. I mean, I've heard of people who are brilliant when they're young, but to write so much, it's more than just brilliance. You have to have special talent, like we say in Moshe Rabbeinu, before he was Nifter, he wrote 13 Sifrei Torah. Can you imagine that? Moshe Rabbeinu himself, 13 Sifrei Torah, one for each Shevet, and one for the Mishkan. Not one person wrote 13 Sefer Torah. Now it takes for a Sefer to write the Sefer Torah today? A year. A year. That's he writes full time. It takes him a year to write a Sefer Torah. How did Moshe Rabbeinu do it in the last, 13 Sefer Torah before it was Nifter? How did he do it? This is the Mailim Tevetz, Alpines. I think these people also, the Rambam, Rashi, when they wrote so much, how they do it is something which the Mailim Tevetz, absolutely amazing. All right, so that's as far as that's what the Baal Shem Tov says. But the Parshah, he's one of those people that we have to listen to. And if we understood who he was, as he said, we want to lick the earth on top of his cave. Just with that. Okay, we're going to concentrate now on the pasuk Tavim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha. This pasuk is found the last pasuk before Chamishi. The last pasuk in the fourth Aliyah, Tavim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha. Now he refers us. You open up your siddur. Open up your siddur, please. Open up your siddur at the Pirkei Avos. And in the Pirkei Avos, you'll see the Mishnah. I think it's Rabbi Yossi in the middle of. I'll give you the siddur. I'll find it for you. I'll tell you better than this.
What chapter?
Third chapter, Pirkei Avos. All right, in this siddur, it's on 279.
Yeah, it's the same.
In this
English and non-English are the same.
okay, this is Mishnah, let's see, what Mishnah is it? Mishnah Zayin. Middle of Mishnah Zayin. Here, Rabbi Yaakov. Right, you have it? Middle of Mishnah Zayin, Rabbi Yaakov. We'll get to it in a minute. He's using this Mishnah to help explain a concept that he wants to talk about on the Parsha. Tavim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha. What does it mean, Tavim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha? Tavim means you have to be sort of simple and not to look for, Rashi says, don't look for all kinds of cheshbonos. Whatever Hashem deals you, that's what you have to accept. That's it. They asked Rabbi Wein, Olav Shalom, asked Rabbi Wein, how did it feel to get married a second time? His first wife was nifter in the hospital. Something happened in some kind of treatment that she was getting, and she was nifter all of a sudden. And so he had to get married a second time. So he married a second time, and his second wife was also nifter. So the interviewer says to him, how do you deal with it? So he says, you deal with what there is. This is what Hashem dealt me. This is what I have to live with. And I'm going to live with it. I have to adjust myself to what Hashem gave me. I have to realize that it's for my own good. That's what the person means. Tavim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha. Don't try to figure out what Hashem's cheshbonos are, why he did this to you, why this happened. This is what Hashem dealt you. You have to realize Hashem loves Am Yisrael, loves every Jew. Whatever happens for you is for your own good. You don't understand it, that's your problem. But you have to realize that Hashem is doing the best for you. You have to make yourself adjust to it and accept it. That's what Rashi says. Tamim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha. Be tamim. Don't look for cheshbonos. Don't have complaints. Whatever Hashem deals you, you have to accept it and realize it's for your own good. That's what the pasuk simply means. Now, that's what Rashi said on the pasuk. Says the Baal Shem Tov. Before we get into the Pirkei Avos in front of you, before that, Pirish. Says the Baal Shem Tov, Afilu kishetasok b'Torah. Even if you're learning Torah, you're not going through life with all kinds of problems and everything. You're trying to understand why this is happening to me. you're learning Torah. There also, Tomim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha. So you say, what is the big Tomim Tiyeh Hashem? I'm learning Torah. And the Torah itself is Tomim. Torah is Hashem Tamima. The Torah is Tomim. The Torah is full, it's perfect. What does it mean? I have to be Tomim Hashem Elokecha. I have to be connected to Hashem. What does it mean? Tomim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha. I don't understand what that means. So he says, V'zeo shekosa Tomim Tiyeh Afilu Be'esek Torah. Even while you're learning Torah, you have to be Tomim in Hashem. What does that mean? You have to be Tomim in Hashem. And by learning Torah, I'm connected to Hashem's tool. I'm connected to Hashem's tool. Isn't that a kind of a wholesomeness? Isn't that kind of a wonderful way to live? Connected to Hashem? What does it mean? So he says, V'lo Tomah, you shouldn't say, Sha'Torah nikres mimela Torah Hashem. The Torah is Hashem. Hashem gave us the Torah. As we said before, the Torah came to Shemayim to us. Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Shemayim. He was up there 40 days, 40 nights, and Hashem gave him a Torah. He brought it down. The Torah comes down to Shemayim to us. So what is there to be Tamim? What is it to me? The Torah is Tamim. Torah is an emanation of Hashem. So it is Tamim. And I'm learning something with Tamim. What do I have to be Tamim? What does it mean to be Tamim? So he says, this is what the Mishnah says in Pirkei Avos. Take a look. Now look at the Mishnah Pirkei Avos. Look at the Mishnah Pirkei Avos. You have the Mishnah, Rabbi, what's it saying? Rabbi Yaakov, how does it start there? Rabbi Yaakov Omer?
Rabbi Elazar Ish Betel.
No, the middle of the Mishnah, where I showed you. The middle of the Mishnah.
Rabbi Yaakov said, one who walks.
Rabbi Yaakov אומר,
yeah.
המחלק בדרך ושונה,
Okay.
הוא מפסיק במשנתו ואומר, מה נאה אילן זה, מה נאה ניר זה, מעלה עליו הכתוב כאילו מתייהר בנפשו.
Okay, so Baal Shem Tov says, look at this Parshat carefully, this Mishnah carefully. How would you say, if you're saying somebody's walking on the street, how would you translate that into Hebrew? Someone's walking in the street, what would you say? Say that again? Holech b'derech. Why is the Mishnah used ha-behalech? Why did it say ha-holech b'derech, like you said? That's the way you talk, that's
modern Hebrew.
No, that's not modern Hebrew. That's correct Hebrew. That's correct Hebrew. Perfectly all right. That's what you should say. Ha-holech b'derech. Person is walking on the road. What does it mean, ha-mahalech? What does it mean, holech and mahalech? The answer is, mahalech is what we call, in diktuk, hifim, which you're going with an intention. Not you just walking. Holech b'derech means you're just strolling, you're walking, and there's no special kavanah in your walking. You're taking a nice stroll, you're walking, that's all. You're walking. Mehalech means it's intentional. There's some kind of plan in your walking. You have a goal, you have a destination, you have a reason why you're walking. Hamahalech, but not holech. Holech is walking very, very sort of unassumingly, but mehalech is you're making some kind of assumption, you have some kind of plan. There's a big difference between holech and mahalech. You're walking, you have a reason why you're walking. That's mahalech. Holech means I'm walking, taking a walk, that's it. No. The Mishnah says the word mahalech for a reason. It says mahalech for a reason. He doesn't tell you the why. This is my deal. Bezat Hashem. I made that. Yeah.
So if one goes to buy challah on Friday morning, is it an holech or mahalech?
I would say it's mahalech because I would say it's mahalech. It was mahalech. But here it's much more intense. We'll see. Here's much more intense. Okay, look what it says. So it says, what did it say there? Hamahalech b'derech v'shoneh. What does it mean v'shoneh?
Changes.
No. That's it. V'shoneh could be change. V'shinu, change. But it says v'shoneh means he's learning. He's walking on the road and he's learning. Because he's not walking stop. I tell people all the time, people think that I'm a good person. I go to shul 3 times a day. I make a motzi. I make a bracha achrona. I say bracha nefashos. I say birchas hamazon. I even say a nice word to people. I don't understand why every single day I have to say, "Slach na li chikal tanuma, kam kibashana." What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? So I said to him, I'll give you just a very, very simple, every single day occurrence. You walk in the street. What are you doing when you're walking in the street? Wherever you're going to. You're going to buy challah, you're going to shul. Till you get to shul, from your house to the shul, what are you doing at that time? Do you know there's a mitzvah Seder Raisa? B'hagisa bo yom v'layla. The mitzvah Seder Raisa to learn Torah in every free moment. Every free moment that you have a mitzvah Seder Raisa to learn Torah. Were you learning in that free moment when you're walking to shul? You could have said a parak of Tehillim that you know about Peh. You could have gone over the shir that you just heard the day before, reviewed that. Did you do that? Or were you just taking in the sights, looking at the birds and looking at the trees and whatever? What were you doing in that time? What? Ms. Voss? Yeah, no, right. Correct. Here, Rabbi Yaakov says, right? V'dibarta bam. B'shivtecha b'meisecha v'bolechtacha b'derech. You should speak the Torah, right? When you're sitting at home or when you're walking in the street. Here, the Pasuk says you say in Kriya Shema every single day. Here, Chanoch, every single day you say in Kriya Shema. V'dibarta bam. Speak the Torah when? When you're sitting at home, when you're walking on the road. So when you're just looking around, taking in the sights, and looking at this one, looking at that one, and what do you have after all that? What you accomplished? Nothing. All you did was waste time. You wasted parts of your life. And how many hours and hours and hours, and months and years have gone by until this point that I have wasted just walking in the street, and I wasn't doing the dibarta. I wasn't doing it. So it says, Hamahalech b'derech, a person's walking with an intention. He's walking with a reason. He's got some kind of a plan. Vishona, and he's learning. Oh, so he's a tzaddik. He's Mekayim v'dibarta. But it says, Umafsik li mishnasa. And all of a sudden he stops. Stops his learning. So the Baal Shem Tov asks, why does it have to say Vishoneh? He said, Hamahalech b'derech, a person's walking in the road, Umafsik mishnasai. If he says he's mafsik mishnasai, I understand that he was learning until then. Why does the Mishnah have to use the extra words Vishoneh? If it says he's mafsik mishnasa, it means that he took a pause from his learning. Obviously, he was learning. Why does the Mishnah come along and say v'shoneh? If it just said mafsik mishnasa, it's understood that he was learning and he stopped learning. Why does the Mishnah say that extra word v'shoneh? The Tanaim, they were very, very makbid at every word that they wrote in the Mishnah. That's one question. Having Adin, we would know the Hayashoneh. We would know he was learning because it says in Mafsik the Mishnasa. That's one kasha. Old kasha, another kasha that Baal Shem Tov has, the Omar, Maila Alav HaKosuv, Kilu V'Schai B'Nafsha. Does it say in the Mishnah which pasuk? Take a look. Does it say which pasuk? Maila Alav HaKosuv?
Kilum Gechem B'Nafsho.
But which pasuk? The pasuk considers it as if you're mizchav. Which pasuk? Doesn't say the pasuk. Doesn't say the pasuk. Lo kutuv is a pasuk. Okay. Listen to Baal Shem Tov's chat now to explain the Mishnah. Yesh Lomar. Hapirish is, this person is walking, he has a self-confident opinion of himself. Holech b'derech hayashar. He's walking by himself and he feels, I'm a good person. As we said before, I daven every day, 3 times a day. I say Birchas HaMazon. I say a nice word to people. I don't embarrass anybody. I'm a good person. But he's alone. Why? She'eino dovuk b'Hashem Yisborach. We have a pasuk. Tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. You have to be with Hashem. You have to be attached. Never lose that attachment. Never lose the attachment. Even when you're learning Torah. Now you're learning Torah, you have a hard piece of Gemara, a hard Mishnah, and you're really concentrating on it. Are you supposed to be able to think of Hashem at that time when you're learning Torah, a hard thing, or you're working for a parnasa? You have a very difficult project, you're trying to figure out how to make profit out of this project, and you're putting in all of your kaiches, all your concentration on it. Are you thinking about Hashem at that time? Are you thinking about Hashem at that time? That's what Baal Shem Tov asked. He's walking in the street, he's not doing anything wrong on the surface. He's walking and he feels confident, he's a good person. He's going to shul. He's going to do a mitzvah. He's going to help his wife buy some things in the store to save her the trouble. He's doing a mitzvah. Gmilas chesed. But eino dafuk b'Hashem Yisborach. Umemela eino mekayim hakosuv tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. He has lost his connection. He has lost, he's busy with what he's doing, and he's lost his connection to Hashem.
I think the example he's taking about the tree,
The tree?
the example he's taking about the tree,
Yeah.
in my understanding,
We'll see. We'll see in a minute about the tree afterwards. 1 minute. Okay. So he says, so it says now, he's walking and he's thinking, I'm a good person, I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm not harming anybody, I'm going to do a mitzvah. So it's mehalech, it's with an intention. Vishone, and he's learning. What do you mean he's learning? What is he learning? But he says, umavsik b'mishnas. Now look, listen to the deal of the Baal Shem Tov. It's an amazing deal. Umavsik b'mishnaso, you normally means that he has a pause from his learning. So he says, no. Pshat is, that's one pshat. Baal Shem Tov learns what Solomon, umavsik atzmo me Hashem Yisborach machmas mishnaso, because of his learning. Not that he's mafsik stopped from his learning, but because of his learning. Because of that. Because of it. This is what that's what the word the pshat is. Machmas mishnaso. Dahainu shebolo gadlus visparus machmas. He has now this feeling of self-confidence and self-glory. Why? Mishnaso, because of his outlook on life. I'm a good person. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm helping my wife. I'm doing something for my children. I'm doing something for a neighbor. I'm going to shul. I'm going to a shir. I'm fine. I'm a good person. But on the way, are you connected to Hashem on the way? On the way. No, you're connected to yourself. You're connected to yourself. And what do you say? He says, he says, Manoe Elon Zeh. Barshat says, Adam eats hasada. Adam eats hasada. A person is considered to be like a tree. And you have fruits and you have branches. You have to realize, but you are the base. And I'm a beautiful tree. Nothing wrong with me. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm helping people. I'm a kind person. I say my brachas. I go to my shir. Manoe Elon Zeh. He's talking about himself. He's talking about himself. I'm a good person. V'al atzmo amekei belibo. K'moshe kosnuv ki adam eitz hasada. V'yomer al atzmo duhi lama di rabba v'takif. I'm a strong tree. I have a lot of branches. I have a lot of fruits. I'm a good person. U'mano near them. And also, the things that I give out, that's going to come out of me, these are also very good.
what does the near mean?
Near is what you gather it from the fruit, from the field. Near. Near pirush sheomer shemechin le'atzmo chelik l'olam haba. I'm preparing myself now with all my good deeds that I do, prepare myself so I have savings to take with me to Olam Haba. This is why, because this is why my derech in life, this is what I'm doing. I'm a very fine person. I'm an upstanding person in the community, and I do what everybody else does, and I do the right things. I say brichas hamazon, I say brachos, and I daven carefully also. But you're always unconnected. You're not connected to Hashem. V'chein mala alav hakasuv pirish. Which pasuk? The Mishnah doesn't tell us which pasuk. Which pasuk is he talking about? The pasuk that we just said about. Tamin tia and Hashem Elokecha. You're not connected. You have to always be connected to Hashem. Remember how we start off the shir today? We said, "Ani ledardi v'dodi li." Does that only apply in Elul, or is it supposed to be all year long? That's the question. David HaMelech, what did he say? David HaMelech said. David HaMelech said, "Shivisi Hashem lenegdi summit." I think of Hashem always opposite me, in front of me. I'm always connected to Him. Always connected to Hashem. Shivisi Hashem, he always saw in his mind the Yud, the Hey, the Vav, the Hey. Shivisi Hashem, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, lenegdi summit. He never lost the connection. He never lost the connection. Shivisi Hashem lenegdi tamid. And that's what he's saying is happening here. A person who thinks that he's doing great and he's doing a good job, that is his Mishnah, that's his learning, that's his mistake. That's his mistake. It's not enough to do the good things that you do. You have to be connected. You have to be connected all the time. Shivisi Hashem levi samid. You have to be connected. You have to have Im al Hashem Elokecha. Tamim Im Hashem Elokecha. If you're not connected, you're already over on the pasuk of Tamim Tiyah. You're over. And you're over on Shivisi Hashem levi samid. Now I'll tell you an interesting thing about tzedakah in a minute also. The Mishnah doesn't tell us. Which pasuk are you talking about? Baal said it means this pasuk. The pasuk of Tamim Tiyah Hashem Elokecha. That's what you're over on. And if you're not connected to Hashem, so it's chayv b'nafsho, because what is a person without Hashem? Gornish begornish. You have to have Hashem feeding you all the time and to be connected to Him all the time. Now I want to tell you something very interesting based on this. And it's a little bit early, but I don't want to just stop, to talk in things about which are not important. Everyone likes to give tzedakah. We all realize that you have many mitzvahs in the Torah about giving tzedakah, and there's all kinds of shilas, how much to give, so forth. And you know what the Shulchan Aruch says about tzedakah? Shulchan says about tzedakah, he says that if a person can afford, there's no limit. There's no limit.
I think it was 50%.
If you take a look at
You shouldn't become poor.
Person can afford. Person is very wealthy. There's no limit. Give as much as you want. Wherever there's a need, give. You can afford it. It's not going to affect your personal life. There's no limit. That's what the Shulchan Aruch says. However, the person cannot give as much as he wants. He can't supply every chassan and every kala with a chasana and with a dira, and he can't help every person in every hospital. He can't give. So then already we have amounts. The average person gives 10%, aser to aser. A person who wants to be more machmir says aser to aser, so it says twice aser, so he can give 20%. But he says after 20%, don't give more. But how is the Gemara refer to that? How is it worded? It says, "Hamavazves al yavazves yoter mechomesh." The Baal Shem Tov, he gave limitlessly. Limitlessly. He never looked to see, am I giving a 20th or am I giving more? So they asked the Baal Shem Tov, the Rav is l'chayra over on what Chazal say. Chazal say, al yavazves yoter mechomesh. Not to give more than a fifth. So he said to them, why did the Gemara use that lashon? Amavazves. Why did it say hanoise? Hanoise lo yitain yoter mechomesh. Why mavazves? He says, a person who is stingy, and it's hard for him to give So if he gives more than a fifth, he thinks he's being mavaza himself. He's doing something which is wrong. So he shouldn't give more than a fifth. If he wants to do more than the 10%, he should give more than, he give 12% more than a fifth. But a person who doesn't consider it a bizayah, not at all, consider it a schus. Halavaya should be able to give to more, and I'm going to give it. I'm not going to think about it. I know Hashem gives me, I'm going to give to others too. Just like he gives me, I'm going to give to others, and I'm not worried about it. Hashem could give me anytime he wants. I don't have to worry about amounts. I give it anytime a person comes to me, I'm going to give him if he needs it. Doesn't mean you have to give every person. Not everybody is honest. There are people who are dishonest who also ask for money. You have to be careful who you're giving to. But he says the union of giving a fifth, 20%, is only if someone who considers it to be a bizayon of some kind. It's something which is hard for him because he's not such a giver. But he wants to do the best thing, so he gives, okay, I'll give extra. I'll give a fifth. But for a person who doesn't feel any stinginess at all, he just wants to help all about Israel, there's no limit. He can give as much as he wants. It all depends on how you look at it, how you feel about it. Okay, now listen to this. This is absolutely amazing. When a person gives tzedakah, we just said now that you have to have you have to be with Hashem at all times. Even when you're learning Torah, don't disconnect yourself from Hashem. When you're walking in the street, certainly not. Even when you're walking to do a mitzvah, just don't look around. Say a pasuk in Tehillim. You can say the same pasuk, say it over 50 times, 100 times, doesn't matter. Each time you think about the same pasuk, think about a different aspect of the pasuk. It's never boring to think about a pasuk in Tehillim or pasuk in Torah. You can always think about it. Why is it written that way? Why is it written this way? You can all kinds of things can go in your mind if you take a pasuk and think about it over and over and over again. Don't waste your time looking at the sights, looking at the birds, looking at the garbage cans, looking for all these things are waste. It's part of our lives. We're wasting so much time in our life just taking in the sights and we're not thinking about some kind of different Torah connected to Hashem all the time. Says the Baal Shem Tov, and I tell you, this is absolutely beautiful. When you give tzedakah, you have to have Hashem in the giving of the tzedakah too. What does that mean? How do you have Hashem in the tzedakah? Hashem gave me the mitzvah to give it, so I give it. Where is it? In the giving itself, I have Hashem in the giving of the tzedakah? How do you have Hashem in the giving of the tzedakah itself? Listen to this, it's beautiful. Let's say you have people coming around in the shuls in the morning. They're coming around with tzedakah. You have a few coins on the table in front of you. And they come over to you. Sometimes they're even asked for. They take it off the table by themselves, but they know you have it ready for them. And they go further. No good. No good. Why? Because Hashem is not in that tzedakah. What do you mean Hashem is not in the tzedakah? How do you get Hashem into the tzedakah? Think for a second. It all depends on your kavanah. The coin that you have, make that the yud.
Mm-hmm.
That's the yud. Your 5 fingers
Hey.
is the hey.
Wow.
Your outstretched arm is the vav. And the on his hand who's receiving it, that's the other. Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that beautiful? You have in the tzedakah itself, you have the Shem Hashem. But it all depends on your kavanah. So somebody asked me, I told it to them last week, he said to me, let's say I give a check. Can a check become a yud? No. So let me ask you, is a coin a yud? A coin's not a yud. Coin's not a yud. You are giving it the value of a yud in your mind. This 1 shekel, this 5 shekel coin, whatever that you're giving, you are making it a yud. It's a coin, it's not a yud, but you're thinking of it as a yud. So if you have a check that you want to give, make the check to yud. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
That troubles me, Joe.
Excuse me?
Troubles me, Joe.
Why? Yeah.
You know, you're sitting there and you might have some money on your right in front of you, might not. And these men come up and they don't say todah, they don't even nod their head. You know?
Look.
And I feel they don't have to say todah, but I don't just, that bothers me.
All right, you have a point. You have a point. But maybe try to be davakav's close. They don't want to disturb you from your davening and take your attention away from the tefillah. So they know you have it out for them. And they take it. Be davakav's close.
They can nod their head.
All right, good. But Anyway, it's a point, but it's our job to see the positive side. They don't want to disturb your davening. They know you have it out for them. They take it and they go further. And let's assume that they have a lot.
Then there's the issue, you can put the tzedakah in the tzedakah box.
Yes, you could.
And not give it to them,
Yes, you could.
which I would feel more comfortable with that. Thank you. But,
Think of the humiliation of this person make like this. It's humiliating. So it's difficult for him. Do like this. It's not nice. Would you do it? Would be difficult. So,
All right, anyway, so again, we're coming back to Tamim Tiri Hashem Elokecha. Even in giving tzedakah, you have to be connected to Hashem at all times. And you think about it, every time you give, every another coin, it's another, you're creating another Yud Kei Vav Kei. It's a Visi Hashem and Levi Summit. It's a wonderful opportunity to keep connected to Hashem, even when you're doing a ma'aser like giving tzedakah. Think of the Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. Yud the coin, Hey, my arm is the Vav, and his hand, receiving it, is the other Hey.
what about testing Hashem with the tzedakah? Because it's written in Rashi.
Yes, sure you can. Wait. Hashem said, you will test me, and they'll see. That's one thing Hashem.
It's the only one.
Right. You know why?
No.
Rabbi Yaakov Meir is asking a good question. In the Torah it says, Hashem says, you take care of the ger, Yosem, Almana, take care of them, give them, and test me. See if you're going to lose by it. I guarantee you won't lose by it, Hashem says. So they ask to test Hashem. Test Hashem. This is the way you don't believe in Hashem. When He tells you to do something, you have to test Hashem. The answer is the following. It says all other mitzvahs. I mean, I think it means not only the tzedakah, but all b'nai l'chaveiro. All of the mitzvahs that don't involve other people, it's also to test Hashem. But here, no matter what, even if you don't give the tzedakah with a full heart, the end result is he's going to end up with the money. So if he's going to end up with the money, even if you don't have the best kavanas, don't worry, it's okay.
Yes, but the point is, Shochad.
What do you mean?
I give in order that I want to give back.
All right? So Hashem says, the Mnai said, it's okay. If it's a tzedakah, he's willing to allow that. So because the end result
Lo
is,
adibura ela ma'aseh.
it's tzedakah, he's willing to allow it, but the end result is that the people are getting it. The ger yosef almana, or when they're getting it, that's the yikar. Okay, Rabbi Sai, that's it for today. Turn down our bell for me.